Putting a player on the trade block is the most passive way to try to get a deal done in Dynasty. If you want to sell a player and your strategy is hoping someone scrolls by your listing and sends you something worthwhile, you're probably going to be waiting for a long time. And yeah, sometimes people take it a step further and say, Terry McLaurin for a 26 first right after they trade block him. That's slightly better, but it's still passive, still broadcasted, and still puts the work on the other manager. In my opinion, this is one of the biggest edges in Dynasty trading. In this video, I'll show you exactly what I do instead. A system that gets real trades done, builds team value faster, and actually lets you dictate the terms of the deal. The trade block feels active, but it's not. You're just sending up a flare and waiting. From my experience, most players either just ignore trade block notification or think, this guy wants to sell player X, so let me lowball him. You've lost the leverage and you're relying on the other person to do the work, and they usually won't. Sending a trade offer flips the dynamic. Now the other person doesn't have to think through and initiate a trade idea. They're just reacting. Let's say, for example, I want to sell Cooper Kupp on one of my teams because I want to redistribute how much value this roster is storing in expiring assets. Guys who can still score points, but are unlikely to hold or gain value beyond the season. I'm walking that tightrope between scoring points and maintaining or growing team value. And for this particular team, I think shifting away from an aging asset like Kupp is the right thing to do. So instead of announcing that I want to sell Kupp for a pick or putting Kupp on the block and waiting, here's what I'll do. First, I'll go team by team and send offers for each pick in the 203 to like 210 range that I think has a chance of getting accepted by that team. It's pretty much the same deal structure across the board. Kupp straight up. And for the higher picks in that range, maybe I'll throw in a little depth piece to try to make it more appealing. Then I'll send Kupp for a future second in 2026 or 2027 to most teams. Then I'll run a third wave. I take Kupp and send offers for young wide receivers like a Josh Downs or a Jaden Reed, guys who are going a couple rounds ahead of Kupp in ADP and are more likely to gain or at least hold value into next season. Every offer I send is accomplishing the same goal, reshaping this roster in a way that makes it more stable, flexible, and value efficient at a price point that I like. And the key is I'm not sitting around waiting for the perfect trade to land in my inbox. I'm the one deciding the structure of the deal. All they have to do is click accept. I'm not being picky. I'm stacking the probability of getting a trade done through taking initiative and trade volume. When you have a direction and become more and more familiar with what the ADP or market values of a player are, it takes a lot less time than you may think, even for Dynasty portfolio players. Within a few minutes, I've sent out over 20 trades. All I need is one to get accepted. Then I can move on to the next player or league. There's another layer to all of this that doesn't get talked about often. And that's the benefit of working behind the scenes or working in the shadows. When you post in the league chat that you're selling someone or you're open to trading back, you give away all the leverage. You show your hand. You invite people to game plan against you, or worse, ignore you completely. But when you quietly send out 15 to 20 well-structured offers, people may not really pick up on what you're trying to do. You get to move more freely. You control the pace and the perception. The offer just shows up in someone's inbox. All they have to do now is either click accept or click counter. And if they don't, you've still preserved flexibility without looking desperate. The league chat will stay quiet, but you're the one shaping the market behind the scenes here. That's the edge, and it's completely replicable. All this is perhaps just as important in Dynasty startups. Instead of posting in a chat, looking to trade back here in the fifth, I'll just send the offers. I'll offer like my fifth for a 27 first and a ninth, or a fifth for a sixth and a 10th. That's 22 offers if you were to send to every team. 11 teams, 2 different structures. In sharper leagues, I might need to shoot for something a little bit less ambitious than those offers I just stated above. But ultimately, you have to read the room from that lens. Regardless, the key is volume and not being picky. All you need is one yes. There are deals out there to be had. You just got to send the offers. Lots of Dynasty players miss out because they wait or let their roster just linger. They wait for someone to send them an offer. They wait for market clarity, or they wait for the perfect trade to come to them. But the best rosters are built by the people who take action, who send the offers, who create the leverage. If you're willing to be active, intentional, and strategic, You will outpace your league over time. If you want more strategy first dynasty content like this, hit subscribe. And if you'd like for me to take a look at your roster or walk through your league, feel free to drop a comment or send me an email at the email provided below on the screen. Appreciate you all for watching.